Hey y'all, I hope we're doing well. It is Monday. It is Monday, May 4th, 2026. And hello, Epic Vibes. I see you were waiting for me. I'm so sorry I'm tardy. I know, you say, bro, it's 8:05. What's up? Come on, please. I'm here. I was not going to miss our live stream tonight. You guys, first of all, can we start here? Let's start here. Why did no one call out my bonkers brain on Friday and say, Ruby, it's not Mind Heart Mondays, it's Friday? You guys, this is so hilarious. And last night, literally in the middle of the night, because I was on my on-call, I said, wait a second, did I do a Mind Heart Monday on Friday? You guys, I guess I was just too excited to get us going for May. But you know what? I'm doing another Mind Heart. Another one tonight. It is 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, or a little bit later. And I am here with our second in a series of, well, how many am I doing? Let's see. How many am I doing? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 for sure. And we are talking about water, you guys. We are talking about water. Water's on my spirit for May. And last week, or not last week, last Friday, well, technically it was last week, but on Friday, I introduced the series and I was teaching on surrender to the living water. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. I literally did it three nights ago. Y'all, this is so, by the way, this has never happened to me ever. Never have I done the wrong live stream on the wrong day. This is how tired my brain is from my day job. And by the way, my true life work is a master life coach in the healing arts. And this is why I'm here. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is why I bring you free teachings so you can understand a little bit more about the journey of the spirit, soul, and body. For I am a spirit, soul, and body care specialist. And I welcome you to sign up for a one-to-one session with me. We can do a mini session. We can do a full-length session at your leisure. Or you can go to my website and look up the bundles that I have for inner healing or artist coaching. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Good to see everybody coming in the chat. It's so funny. That's never happened. That's a first. And I kind of saw it as this month is going to be full of surprises. We are on day 4. So, are y'all ready for this teaching? Buster, welcome and thank you. I appreciate that. Muhar, how do you say your name? Muhar? Well, hello and welcome. Good to see you and good to have you tonight. Okay, tonight's teaching I've titled Go with the Flow. Everybody heard this before? It is a very common phrase. And typically naturally. Does that sound amazing or great? Are you here? Do you know where you are? Do you know how you're flowing and where you're going? This is what we're getting into tonight. And of course, I am using the analogy of water in a current. Okay? Every Mind Heart Monday, I'm going to be teaching about water this month. So are you ready for this? By the way, everybody, welcome. I'm so glad you're here watching on live stream and on the replay. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Sorry, I always forget about that. That's probably really loud. So don't hesitate to ask anything while we're going through the live stream. I promise I'll come back and see what you're saying. And Again, I welcome you. It is still early in the month. I welcome you to a session with me if that is something that interests you or you're curious about. You can visit my website to see all about my bundles, including my artist coaching. And you will get 26% off actually as part of the She's Restored family or Sonia the Lead to Sound family. So that's beautiful and brilliant. Okay, let's get into this. I'm ready. So picture in your mind. Do you remember last time? I'll keep wanting to say last week. Remember a few days ago when we did Mind Heart Mondays on a Friday? And I said, picture water. What do you see? Take a snapshot of it in your mind. And this is going to be your Polaroid for this month and perhaps even this year. What was your picture of water? What did you envision for yourself? I had a picture of, and actually it was a recollection of a teaching I did last year. And I saw myself floating on the Guadalupe River, which is here in Texas. It's actually a very fun, favorite pastime of a lot of us that are natives here. Floating down the Guadalupe River in a tube and letting the current of the river take us. It is one of the most beautiful memories I have as a kid, because that's how long it's been since I've been on one. And it is calm and peaceful and beautiful. But what is yours? What is yours? I suppose another one for me would be the ocean, because I love the ocean. And as you guys know, I'm a water baby. I love water. It really doesn't matter where, but the ocean. And the last time I went to the beach, as we call it here, was in 2024. We actually went to Sunny Beach, Galveston, Texas, because my kids are still in Houston, and we had a beautiful time. It was glorious. Hi, Chiku. Is that how you say your name, Chiku? I like it. River, beautiful. So like me, you envision a river. Is this a therapy session? Pretty much. I am a master life coach in the healing arts. And this is Mind Heart Mondays. I do this every Monday and sometimes Friday. I'm going to keep making a joke about that forever, you guys, because that was hilarious. But welcome. And if you are interested in therapy sessions, you can reach out to me, shesrestored@gmail.com, and we can set something up if you're interested. But to answer you, my life work is therapeutic art. So I basically use art, music, and movement to help you process pain and trauma. That is what I do. So welcome. What's the first question? I didn't see another question. Oh, it was held for review. That's why I didn't see it. Did you say something not nice? Because that's usually what happens if it doesn't let me see it. It'll actually flag it. So you can reset it, and if I see it, then I will answer. Okay, so let's get into this. Floating. I have two kind of parallels here. The first is when it comes to this vision of a current of water. I want you to choose your water, whatever it is. Okay? And I want you to envision floating. Okay, floating in this space that brings you whatever your connection is to water in general. Okay? Now, water, let's just start here. The nature of water does not change. This is important to understand. Water has its own essence, its own nature, and it does not change. It's never changed, regardless of the times or the centuries. Water is water, and it is loyal to its own essence. This is important to understand. It is also at the mercy of the voice of the Lord. This is, if you forget anything, don't forget this. Water is at the mercy of the voice of the Lord. Why? Because God created the waters. He created the waters in all its glory, in all its shapes and forms and colors, even depths. Okay? And when you are in the rivers of living water, which we talked about last week, you will be taken safely to your divine destiny. This is how I'm prefacing our teaching, because there is a natural rhythm and order that God has with water that is, on one side, good, beautiful, healthy, nourishing, safe, sound, secure, slow, steady, soothing, nourishing, peaceful. And yet, we also know, because we've been here long enough, that water, if it is under the influence, can be destructive, shaky and uncertain, unpredictable, sudden. It can take you in and pull you down. It can be terrifying and thieving, and it certainly can be chaotic. Okay, and what am I talking about here? Of course, I'm talking about natural disasters. I think that there are plenty of recent, even, and when I say recent, I mean in the last 20 years, accounts of water taking the form of destruction. Okay? And this we will call undertow. Which, by the way, is an actual term for a current of water that occurs in the ocean, which I think I've talked about probably many times. Okay? So, what's powerful to understand is that nature, in its essence, worships the Lord. It worships God because it understands His voice. There are scriptures that talk about how the Lord prevents the waters from transgressing His command. So this is the brilliance of nature, is that it is always at the mercy of the Lord's command, the Lord's voice. Okay? And envision this with me for a second. You can be at a beautiful beach, sitting down, enjoying the waves, which, by the way, there's nothing like it. It is one of my favorite spaces to be. And actually, in my 20s, I had a ritual for myself that I would drive out to the beach, even by myself, most of the time, actually. It was about a 2.5-hour drive for me. And I would just go and spend the weekend there and center myself. Because water is very healing, therapeutic. And in fact, I would venture to say we need it just as much as we need the sun. But you can sit on the beach and it's calm. It is rhythmic. The waves coming in perfect divine timing. And yet, should the earth shake and you are on the beach or near where the earthquake took place, that beautiful, serene scenario could quickly turn into destruction from a tsunami. Okay, I want you to keep these two images in your mind, okay? Because we're going somewhere with this in this teaching. We are going somewhere. And by the time we're done, it's going to come full circle. Where are you right now? Are you sitting on that beautiful, calm river? Quietly and gently flowing and floating as the current takes you on a peaceful journey? Or do you see the waters receding because a tsunami is about to hit? What's going on with you today, tonight? What are you envisioning? Wood is more rare than water. But wood is more rare than water. I think there are more than two states, I guess. Well, of course. But for the sake of the direction, because this is really where I'm going here, I'm giving us two directions. The direction of calm waters or turbulent waters or riptides and undertows. Because when I am yielded, which is what we talked about last week, and if you haven't seen that video, I encourage you to go watch it to kind of put this all together. When I am yielded to the living water, this is not to say, of course, in any river, you can find surprises. But if you are in the living water, your journey will go much smoother. And it will be girded, guarded, and held by peace. Even if you should come across some rapids, as we're using the river analogy. It's hard for mountain guys. What's hard for mountain guys? What do you mean? It's dangerous to have only two directions. Do elaborate. I'd like to know what you mean by this. Two directions. Well, I suppose there could be a third position and posture you could be in, which is resisting the water altogether. But that poses a threat of its own, does it not? A good example of this would be an undertow. Those of us that are close to the beach understand what this is. An undertow is basically a whirlpool of water that can happen actually suddenly, and it can take you into the ocean bed, depending on how deep it is. Now, as a human, our natural inclination is to run from danger. But in an undertow, that is the exact opposite of what you should do. And we'll get into this, but I'm using this since you brought this up. A third place, perhaps. Why? Why do you not want to fight the current? Because you're little old you, and the water is much, much bigger than you could see even around you. And you don't know what it's going to do. But there is a rule of thumb. If you should ever find yourself in this situation, which I hope you never do, you are to actually, if the water pulls you down, you are to actually resist the urge to fight against the current of whirlpool that is taking you down. Because eventually it will let you go. So, coming back to the title of our video, go with the flow. There are 5. Okay, I'm all ears. What are the 5? What are the 5, Chiku? Do share. We'd all like to know. 5 directions. Are you talking about a compass? There's 4 actually. And how about we get into this? There's 4 corners of the earth. So where's the 5th one? Or are there 6 directions? The 4 corners of the earth, heaven and hell. That would be 6. Where are you in the current of life right now? How do you feel you are doing with how things are flowing in your life? Do you feel like you're on a calm river right now? Or do you feel the waves crashing bigger and harder as they're coming closer to the shore? My encouragement to you, as I shared last week, is to surrender to the living water and go with the flow. What flow? The divine flow. God has, remember, God is bigger than time and space. God has a divine plan for us. Whether or not we choose that plan, because we have free will, is our choice. You can completely choose to resist the flow that He's trying to guide you into and on. But if you do, then again, you're at the mercy of the unsteady waters. And really, y'all, there's so much to get into with this because we could ask the question, well, why is water like this? Why can it be so sweet and calm and beautiful and serene? And then on the opposite end, it can be life-threatening and destructive. We have to remember that we live in a broken earth. And the earth, as of now, and of course this has been happening for some time, the earth is sick. It is exhausted. It is tired from everything that it has been enduring. So this is why we see things like oceanic animals washing up on different parts of the world that they would normally not be on. Or mass animal deaths. I could go on, you guys. But it is because the earth lets us know, just like our physical body, because the earth is the body of humanity, it is letting us know that it is unwell and it is unhealthy. And as much as we don't want to hear this, we have a lot to do with it. Now, the great news is there will be a new restored earth, and we will be blessed to reap the harvest in due time. But in the meantime, while we're here, there is still work that we can do to take care of our planet and to take care of each other. I'm still waiting to hear what the 5R Chiku. I'm just joking. I'm putting you on the spot, but I'm doing it jokingly. So don't worry. You don't need to share if you don't want to. So, where are you tonight or today if you're watching this during the day? Do you feel, and let's start with your spirit. Is your spirit at peace? Do you have peace in your spirit? Or do you feel unrest? What about your soul? How's your mind? Do you feel chaos in your mind? Or do you feel sound? Do you feel like you have a good mental grasp on your life, on yourself? And emotionally, where are you? Are you floating down the Guadalupe with me? Or are you running to higher ground? And by the way, if you are struggling mentally or emotionally, please reach out to me, shesrestored@gmail.com. And I would love to work with you, whatever you're going through. So, how are we doing so far? Any questions? Even if you're watching this on the replay, don't hesitate to ask me. Last week I talked about surrendering to the living water, which requires trust and letting go of control. In the vision I just shared about the undertow, I can't imagine that it would be easy to do that. If you're literally fighting for your life in the middle of the ocean, your first instinct is not to just, oh, well, we'll see what happens. I'm just going to let go and let God. But in some spaces in life, it is counterintuitive, but it is the right path to let go. Let go of control and allow the flow of the Spirit, the living water, to guide you into the peace that you're desperately longing for. Because we all intrinsically need and long for peace. And I'm telling you, you're not going to find it in this world. Peace does not come from the world. It doesn't come from things. It doesn't come from money. It doesn't come from fame. It doesn't come from anything or anyone, because it is a spiritual inheritance, and it comes only from the living God, who is the Spirit of peace. And this is what a lot of us are looking for. We're looking for, I feel so out of control. I feel uneasy. I feel like I can't get a grip on my thoughts. I feel emotionally overwhelmed. I feel physically sick. It is because I need to first begin with quelling my spiritual hunger and thirst. When is the new restored earth happening? I don't know exactly. There are time frames according to the end of all things, which is the beginning of all things. And where do I get this from? I believe the scriptures, and I take my spiritual principles from there. But there are some sequential events that must take place before this happens. And as you guys, many of us are very awake and aware that things on the earth are not getting calmer or better. And this is why we must be ready. And this is why I teach what I'm teaching, to help you get your soul ready to handle the chaos, the craziness, the earthquakes, the tsunamis, everything that's going to be coming. Because if I'm calm in my soul realm and in my spirit, then I can handle physically what is happening out here. Oh, thank you. Yes, laughter is medicine. I agree. So, with that said, could you envision yourself going with the flow of the living water? Or are you going with the flow of the living water? Do you trust God with your life? Do you trust God with your life? And by the way, I'm not teaching from hypothetical. I'm teaching from experience, from life experience. I'm here to encourage you that you can, that after your life has fallen apart and you've lost everything, that you can be restored. And God will bring restitution and recompense and restoration to your life. Because that is who He is. He loves us and He wants us to prosper in all things and be in good health, even as our soul prospers. That's what the scripture says, which is a big reason why I teach what I teach. When you have a healthy soul, you can endure just about everything. Just about everything. And with endurance comes... Sorry, did my camera go off? Sorry, you guys. No, we're back on. With endurance comes the building of your character, which strengthens who you are. So my encouragement to you is, if you're not on that peaceful river, that you would take some steps toward it, because it's beautiful. It gives you rest, which you need. And it truly is where God wants you to be. God wants us in peace. He doesn't want us stressed and overworked and over everything. He wants the best for us. Thank you. Have a good night. Well, with that said, I'm going to close. I love you all so much. I will be back Wednesday for our anxiety and depression support. If you need me, please feel free to reach out, shesrestored@gmail.com. I love y'all so much, and this is going to be a great month for us, I promise. So go with the flow, and I'll see you next time. Bye.